To many, the market's deep daily declines make it plain that the Federal Reserve will not be hiking interest rates in March or even this year for that matter. But some economists continue to insist, especially after Friday's jobs report, that a Fed rate hike remains a possibility in March, maybe in June, but almost certainly this year.
I still think that given the dynamics we're seeing in the labor market, the fact that I think you're seeing inflation in the U.S. bottom out, particularly on a core level, right? Headline could still come down a bit because of oil. That puts the Fed, I think, in play, not for March, but perhaps by June. And so there's definitely still some risk that the market is well behind the curve on where the Fed's going to end up.
Most agree a lot has to go right with markets and the economy for the Fed to hike. Among them, a February payroll report on March 4th that shows a low unemployment rate and strong wage gains, just like it did last month. The economy needs to be on firm footing, bouncing back at least somewhat from the weak fourth quarter. Inflation needs to be unchanged or rising. Most importantly, by the time the Fed meets, markets need to stabilize from the current roller coaster volatility.
I think it's a little too soon to say that they're totally out of play. I mean, obviously, the odds of a move in March are a lot lower today than they were in December when the Fed lifted off. But I think that they are still waiting to see if the dust clears with financial conditions, and if financial conditions were to normalize between now and the March meeting and their focus could return to the economic fundamentals, I think there's a decent chance that they could still go.
On Wednesday, we'll get the first clue of what Fed Chair Janet Yellen thinks of the mess that is now the stock market this year. She hasn't spoken since December 16th when the Dow was near 17,800. While markets hope Yellen rules out further rate hikes, she's more likely to strike a more balanced tone, explaining that hikes are still on the table, but unlikely if the economy, as opposed to the market, weakens further. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Steve Liesman.